episode 4 and epilogue. I'll just tell you already, that's coming. In the same shot. Okay, she finds herself in some weird place where she's got one life left and she's jumping little platformer shelves with melting ice creams. And I think if you fall, you get eaten by the shark. She gets there and someone who's playing the joystick. So there are some things, some little resources. She's got only one life and she's standing there making a decision. Well, we can already see here that she has absolutely no ammunition, no strawberries, no diamonds, no arrows, just fuck all. And she's standing there between danger or, hey, fill up with resources, you might survive. So she has to make a choice, and both guess what choice she makes. Well, she goes obviously for the red sign of, what does the sign mean? Is it like stop? Oh no, no, it's the no entry, isn't it? It's the no entry. So she goes, yes, entry, and she enters. And when she enters, oh my god, that is like deeply disturbing. She sees herself, and it was herself, with herself. Think about that. And guess what she does? She gets inside, wah, and she runs. And actually, we can really see that from this on, the tiger takes control. And then there are already quite a few of her inside there. Oops. Her plan was to hitchhike to the strip joint, which felt strangely familiar. So she's now like about 15 of them. And she's looking for a ride to the strip joint, and the driver comes in this flying pig or a riding pig. But the driver had other plans. Oops. Like she tries it, but just that's why it's a tragedy. Tragedy. Because she tries. Tragedy. The one that smelled the worst was stoned by Brussels sprouts. Basically, that's what the driver had in mind for them. And another forced into illegally arranged fake marriage with herself. She liked it. Oh, this is very cute actually. No, it's like against the background with the church. She gets married, throw some flowers on there. It's kind of cute. But inside a quiet symphony was born. And then she has some fights with herself while she tied herself into a knot, and the fight went on. Well, because they have like 15 of them, they have to get on somehow. And they don't want to. And so she tries to get away from them all. I mean, the other, however many there are. And she crossed the ponds. 7 stinky ponds. As always, I think that might be one of the ponds that she actually comes from. Tampons, fag buds, packets, condoms, skeletons. But she's like, well, might as well smoke one or 3. Lived in 3,000, I can't read that number, I'm sorry, garbage bins. I'm not very good with numbers. So yeah, she lived in 3,000 blah blah garbage bins. There she is. Just to get away, and finally a place she can hide. She finally found something, you see? She's like, yes, I got it. And did she? Of course it was a supermarket, and they were everywhere. Notice how the emphasis is on they, but when I read it, it's on everywhere. Yeah, so she's arrived in the supermarket and she sees in the meat section it's her, here it's her, there it's her, the cashier it's her, in the freezer it's her. Ice, ice, baby. She liked the cashier least of all. But she took them. She took all of them. She collected them. She didn't just take the balls. She didn't just take the kebab or sausages. She took them all. And then she's like, I'll take the lot. And she gives 2 euro cents for the lot. I just like throws it on the cashier. There you go, take that one, bitches. She steals a tomato as the souvenir of the trip. That tomato. There, I'm proud of it. And then she's got all of them there. And so what happens next? The execution began at 3 a.m. but never executed. So she tried to execute them with cigarettes in an ashtray. You see? Maybe that's why she collected them all. She didn't want them around. She just poured some wine on them, tied them to a few cigarettes, filled up their mouths with cigarettes, set them all on fire. Instead, they had a party. Of course they had a party. Turn the damn music down, you bitches. This is a very kind neighbor downstairs. Don't we all love them? And this one's like... And the others having fun. Because they maybe just wanted to have a party, Jesus Christ. And she squeezed them all into a suitcase. And what are them all? Well, there is the chicken, there is the Swiss cheese, the toilet, the rug, the bud, the artist. The artist is the one painting the chicken there. And her other painting is all very interesting there. Okay. And began the book tour. So actually she's gone on a book tour, and now this is what we see in Exodus, which I said before epilogue, but it's actually Exodus. Well, oh la la, this is getting heavy stuff. We see her now, sometime later in the future, working clearly in a bar. Next. And you'd think she's serving drinks, right? But she's actually set up an illegal book signing there, right there. Here, whee! So the guy, the customer is like, no, just 2 beers, please. I just want 2 beers. And the boss is like, oi, what did we say about not mixing work with your delusional fantasies? Because he's just fed up, So she comes to work and she uses customers to sell her books. And she actually forces it on them. It's like, just take one. He just wanted 2 beers. She forced it on him. Pretty woman. And here we see her giving press interviews, which is definitely why she wrote the book. And did you anticipate this level of success? She's being asked. And she's like, no, I never thought I'd be at the top of a books I regret reading list. So, well, she made it somewhere. Who cares? She made it somewhere. And so she starts acting like this real celebrity. She goes somewhere in an Asian village and she tries to find and just grab any orphan. Because that's what you do as a celebrity, and then you just adopt them. So she's like, no, he's too old, but I'll take that one in the middle. And she's got these adoption papers where it's just like the picture is just a cross fill in with whatever kids and who cares shit. So she's gonna pick one up from them and just lift him out, take him, that's it. And so she goes to great lengths. She goes on stage with Freddie, who mysteriously must have come out of the shark's stomach. Well, if she did, why couldn't Freddie, right? And somebody's just throwing tomatoes at her because she's not really supposed to be there, Someone get that bitch off the stage. Not even Freddie wants her anymore. And guess what? Someone does get her off the stage. And she's like, wait a minute, is that Martin? Do you remember the castrated, frustrated teddy bear who bought them from the slave market from episode 2? Coincidence or what? And she goes, on Mars, they're gonna love it. So she took all her books and she's going to Mars. Because on Earth, they don't give a shit. So she's gotta change planets. Does that seem extreme? And she's on Mars. As you can see, she's exploring. It's some time later. Some years have passed. and we see the earth in the distance, and still someone's throwing tomatoes, rotten tomatoes, and fries at her. I guess you just keep her like really staying away. And then, this feels familiar. So as usual, she sees a shape under a cherry tree. Oh yes, there are cherry trees on Mars too, you know. And the same thing starts again. He sees her as half a bottle. Except she actually has boots this episode, because you need boots to explore Mars. And Earth not so much, but Mars you do. So it starts again. Fill in the gap. Oh yes, it's already filled with some trees. There you go, that's the end of the novel. Thank you very much for watching The Tragedy